of the topic of today. I'm delighted to introduce Mr. Adeoye Abodunrin. He's an HR tech leader and the executive director of Expos Technologies. He's also Mr. Abodunrin brings a wealth of experience and expertise in the field of artificial intelligence and applies in human resources. He has been at the forefront of numerous innovative initiatives and has reshaped the HR landscape and the transformational initiatives of several organizations across sectors and industries. Mr. Adeoye is the partner of COBT Integrated Management Consulting. He's also an executive director at Expos Technologies. He's a psychologist, life coach, personal development expert with over 25 years of extensive experience spanning across fields including project management, business process management, information technology, and neuro-linguistics program. He has helped brands as well as organizations to achieve business success, operational excellence, and profitability by use of knowledge methodologies rooted in behavioral psychology. With his deep understanding in both technology and human resources, Mr. Abodunrin will provide us throughout the session with invaluable insights into the subject matter of today. I sure, like the rest of us, I'm eager to gain a comprehensive understanding of the potential benefits and challenges that arise from utilizing and maximizing AI into our HR practice, as well as the opportunities that presents for upskilling, talent acquisition, employee engagement, and every other HR function. So before Mr. Abodunrin is welcomed in, let's establish some ground rules to ensure that our virtual session runs smoothly and maximizes our learning experience. Please ensure that you are in a very quiet environment, free from distractions, and fully engaged with the session. Your microphones are muted by default to minimize background noise. Please note that if you want to communicate or pass on any suggestion, information, or insights throughout the section, you can utilize this chatbot feature, which you can use to share your comments, questions, feedback, and we would collate them and ask them at the end of Mr. Abodunrin's session. So we encourage active participation and collaboration amongst all participants and attendees of tonight's session. At the end of tonight's presentation, we will allocate time for Q&A. So if you want to ask your questions, kindly raise your hands or use the raise your hands feature in the Zoom app to indicate your desire to ask a question. We will do our best to address as many questions as possible within the allotted time. This session is going to last for 2 hours. Please maintain a respectful and inclusive atmosphere throughout the session, and of course, where it's time for you to ask your questions, and put them forward in the most professional manner. We value diverse perspective, notwithstanding, and open dialogue, open conversation, and very constructive feedback. So let us ensure that our discussions are conducted with professionalism and mutual respect for us and as well for the speaker. I'm confident that today's knowledge sharing session will be a tremendous opportunity for all of us to deepen our understanding of the subject matter as it concerns the nexus between artificial intelligence and human capital development. Let us embrace this occasion to explore new horizons, challenge our preconceptions, and discover innovative ways to harness the power of AI while prioritizing growth and development of our most valuable asset, which is the people that we manage and we work with. Without further ado, let us welcome Mr. Adeoye Abodunrin as he takes us on an enlightening journey into the world of AI and human capital development. Please, a round of applause. Use your gesture buttons as we welcome Mr. Abodunrin. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for having me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Lewis, thank you so much. Please forgive me. I've got two screens, so you see me either looking straight at the screen or I look up, and that's because I got another screen that's far bigger out there, and I can see all the wonderful people. Luis, thank you so much again. Good to see you. And by the way, don't worry, you're looking very handsome. Your background doesn't matter. And moreover, we saw your voice more. Thank you for the awesome introduction and welcome. I want to appreciate everyone on the call. Before I go to the organizers, my friend, and brother, and every other person on the call, I can see all the names. Forgive me if I'm not able to mention your name, but I see Olawale, I see Mohammed, of course, Lewis. Sorry, it's not Lewis. Lewis is the Badon pronunciation. It's Lewis. So I can see Lewis.
I would have to do a session on the exact pronunciation of my name. I think I will have to do a session on that one. Yes, I think so. Yes, I get a lot of things done to my name, and I don't like
a lot of things. I mean, Lewis is the British. Is a British way of saying it, But yes. Ibadan is Lewis. Where I come from, it's Lewis.
Yes, yes, that is it. Thank you, sir.
Apologies apologies for that gaffe. I'm sorry. There is I mean, I cannot just but call her Sister Shei, because first of all, she's my sister. There's Jumoke, Peter, Olaoluwa, everybody on the call. I'm sorry if I mention your name. There's my brother Alasa there. Some of the guys who don't ask after me, and I don't ask after them until we meet in seminars, but they're all my dear brothers. I actually miss all of you. Depeja, I see you. Everyone. I'm trying not to be spiritual and say you are blessed, because I'm used to speaking online a lot. So, all right, and special thanks to the president, the global president of the AHRP. That is my brother and friend, Michael Ogu. Michael is very astute professional, great brother, extremely wonderful, warm soul. We share brotherhood on many fronts beyond professional fronts, and always kind and wonderful to work with you. And all the board members at AHRP, I miss you all. Again, we seldom get to talk a lot, but I love you all. The Mentors Guild, everyone on AHRP, the executive members, the members of the different subcommittees, and I really miss our physical meetings. It will shock you. I miss people a lot, even though we don't get to hear or talk to each other so much. I miss you guys a lot. Thank you for holding the fort. I see the brilliant work that AHRP is doing, and I do not take for granted the level of intellectual capacity and the bandwidth of knowledge that we have at AHRP. It is always inspiring for me. And trust me, this is a family I love. I don't get to comment like I used to on the platform. That's not because of anything. That's just because things just get sometimes in life hyper busy. That family, you don't even have time to speak to family members as you would love to. And HRP is my family, not necessarily my physical family alone. That's my biological family alone. You guys are always wonderful. Yes, Oluwatoyin, awesome people you guys are. Anytime I come to the chat and I see what's going on, I'm like, where am I when all these wonderful things are going on? You guys are super amazing, and the love and the spirit of the house is very amazing. And let me say this, we live in a very toxic world, and I've made a deliberate effort in my life to steer away from toxicity and toxic environments. One of the things I love about AHRP is, apart from our ability to learn and our desire to learn, I also love the attitude of positiveness, the energy and the engagement, the level of wisdom you have there. It's super amazing. I'm saying that to say, until you begin to not be available around something, you don't know what you're missing or what you're losing. I am aware, because I've had the benefit of being in the house every day, every minute and every second. And at some point, due to deeper and extra commitments, some of them on behalf of the house, It was in one of such my moments of being away that I began to understudy and see this nexus we are discussing today. So at times when you withdraw, you have the benefit of another perspective, and you're able to see bigger picture of things. And so there is a time when focus or concentration is broken from something you are intensely involved with. You break focus to actually assimilate other things, and then it gives you a perspective in what you already were attached to. And like I said, the attitude at AEHRP is deep, and I miss, and I'm spending time to say this because we must cherish what we have. Thank you, everyone, for being so awesome. I would have loved to say, everyone, please unmute your microphone, because I have one more ground rule in addition to anyone that may come up in my mind as we're talking. In addition to being very engaging, please, I would like as many that can, and I'm suggesting as many as possible to please, can you open your video? I would like to see your faces. I love to interact a lot with the face. It's different because speaking to the laptop in itself is very cold. Talk less of just speaking to names, it can get very blurry. So please, I would just love you guys to just please give me your videos for this period. Trust me, I aim to spend about 45 minutes in intense discussion, but I'd like us to interact and all of that. Do we have any questions in starting, any comments in starting? Are the rules engaged? Please, like I said, try and put on your video. I will keep harping on that until I have some specific good number. I like to see people's faces. Don't worry, I won't bite, at least not on this episode. Somebody jokingly said, as if you actually bite anybody. So many things are open on my system, and I'm trying to look for the specific window. This technology thingy can be very tricky. I have the presentation open, just a minute. I want to highlight that particular, okay, I have it right here. Does anyone have any question before we start? Anything about the housekeeping rules? Something you would like us to deliberate upon before we hit the ground running? Okay. Does anyone have issues opening their video? Or we all agree?
I think they are camera shy.
No, in the coming world of work, you cannot be camera shy. Can everyone now see my screen?
Yes, we can. I can.
Cool. Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, please, I want
See your folder.
Yes. No, but you can see my presentation now.
No, we can just see your folder.
Oh no, you should be seeing my
presentation. Okay, it's coming up. You can see your folder.
Technology.
We can only see your folder. We can only see your folders.
Okay, please let me stop sharing and let's try it again. This is the challenge, technology. Yeah, someone say good to see me, good to see me. Yeah, I miss you too. Right, let me try again because Zoom does this thing all the time. Okay, you should see my screen now. How about now?
Yes, we can see your screen now.
Yes, we can.
Yes, you are good to go.
We can see it.
Understand the unit of the thing, yes, we can see.
Okay, thank you, everyone. So please, for those who have their videos on, I'm going to give you a gift. Lewis, you're going to help me to, those who have their videos on, you're going to help me take note of them, and we will give them a gift right after the meeting. The gift will be announced immediately once your video is on. If your video is not on, you cannot lie. Lewis is a very good umpire. He's not like a Mefile or INEC. He's a good man. All right. Understanding the nexus between, what do you say?
Yes, I said yes. I'm taking note of those who have their videos on.
Yeah, I have a gift for them. Understanding the nexus between artificial intelligence. Right. Yeah, thank you, my brother. and human capital as a whole, and human capital development. Now, there is a big, there's an adage in my mother tongue that says, and I'll say directly the way it is, then I'll try and paraphrase and interpret. It says, "He who can see gets afraid." That's me trying to transliterate. I don't know, there probably is anybody who's a linguist expert or understanding of English language and the Yoruba language, you know a corresponding saying. It's only fools that run where angels fear to tread, I think is the closest interpretation, but transliterally, it sounds something like, "He who can see is one that is afraid." And to remember, as I studied AI and I began to look at the conversations in AI, and that's taken me, between you and I, quietly not less than about 5 years of studies, of interaction. Before I speak about things openly, trust me, I've done some quiet introspection. If there's anything like that. And I've actually done dimension of thought, understanding, and trying to interact with the material at a level that is intense. And the things I began to notice about AI are very scary. In fact, the reason why I'm worried is the apathy and the general confidence with which people are moving about. And people are doing the things they are doing as if the future is not coming. How many people remember the typing pool? How many people here, if you were born in the 90s, you probably remember typing pool. If you were born in the 80s, you definitely remember typing pool. If you're born in the 70s, you are a typing pool baby. But people born in year 2000 may not know the typing pool. And don't make mistake, they are now 23. Anybody born in year 2000 or 1999 is now 24, 23. Now, don't make a mistake, they are in the workforce with us. Some of them have 5 years experience already, and they were born there about the turn of 1999. Some of them started working as teenagers, and some of them today are managers already, and some of them in the next 3-4 years will become senior managers. And some of them don't know that there was a time, something called a typing pool. They will probably Google it to look for it online. But is there anyone on the call who you remember the typing pool? Can you just raise your hand? You remember the typing pool? Can you just raise your hand? Just agree with me. Or mute your microphone, say I agree or I know what it is. Can someone tell me what the typing pool was? Just volunteer to speak about the typing pool, what it was, how it used to operate, what it was about. Okay, Sister Shay, go on. Go for it.
I remember it was the beginning, we were taught how to use, someone just wrote it on the group, ASDF space column
semicolon, semicolon LKJ.
LKJ, yes, you know, and so that was it, and it was quite tedious too.
Yes, there was a whole group of persons who used to type. And their job, there were 30 secretaries, 15 secretaries, 20 secretaries. They have a small office and they'll be typing. And the typing of the entire company went to them. Everybody sent everything. Yes, ASDF secretary. So thank you for that. Semicolon LKJ. And so you had these guys who were typists, and they were also shorthand professionals. They were the ones that took the meeting notes for the meeting of the company, and it was actually very, 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 very big thing. Every company prided themselves by how they used these typists, you know, to drive information within the organization. They were the ones who did internal memo. There was senior typist, junior typist. It was a whole directorate. It was an organizational productivity tool. It was heavy. It was an area of human capital that people were going to school to study. Okay, someone says still common at institutions of learning. Yes, but you can't compare to those days. I mean, yeah, the target then was for each to do 250 words per minute. Thank you for that. Good to see you, sir. These are people who are typists. I mean, if you say this thing, the target was for you to be able to type up to 250 words a minute. Once you write that, you were not born in the 80s. You were born minimum in the 70s. That statement came from those that went to typewriting class in secondary school. Thank you, Adiyemi, for that, sir. That is awesome. You are spot on. You know what we're talking about. We had shorthand books. Yes, it was a big thing. Yes, yes. Oh, wow. Latif, you thank you for that. Latif, yes, your dad was one. Thank you for that. Awesome, 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 awesome. Now, just think about how, just close your eyes for a moment and think about how that thing is gone. I mean, Latif, how does it feel? How does it feel to know that what your dad used to do is, we're even struggling. You can see the room is slightly quiet because people born in year 2000 upwards will probably not know what a typist, what that entire typing pool experience was. Latif, I know you probably went to daddy's office, right, to go and see him in the afternoon, and then you enter the typing pool, and they give you granules or something like a snack in the afternoon with a bottle of Coke. You look forward to seeing all the typewriters. It was a large room, right? How does it feel today to just with the nostalgia? Mavis Beacon was advanced typewriter. Yeah, yes. With the carbonized paper, and then you are moving your hand like that. You know, we use Pitman's and Tregido. Oh my God. Even typewriters were either elite or picker. Yeah. Oh Lord, you guys are sending me down memory lane. But I think, I mean, and then you slide your hand like that, you know. And then you hear, when you are near the type people, you hear the noise. Keyboarding, yes. So, Latif, how does it feel today to know that that entire thing is gone? You don't see typing pool anywhere, except for institutes of learning where they are really teaching. And even at that, you don't see the way it used to be. Can someone tell me the feeling? Yes. You see, can someone tell me how that feeling looks? What does it feel like to know that that entire thing is extinct? Look at how we're struggling. I mean, the people who were born in year 2000, don't you feel awkward when we were describing it? Now, what are they talking about? It sounds like you're discussing one old school thing. And just imagine the way it feels in your mind. Anybody wants to make comments about that? About how sorry it is? That's just a memory now. It's gone with the wind. Poof, it's memory. All these things we're discussing. That was how we used to do business at the time. But now it's memory. How does that feel? How does that feel to you? I need someone to comment about how does that feel. I wanted Latif to talk because Latif that did this. Oh, wow. We had full capacity on Zoom. Thank you for that announcement. If you
Hello, Hello.
Yes.
Yes, it's usually, we were kids then. And the speed at which my dad used to type, usually it amazes us. And whenever he actually has a personal one to himself at home. So whenever, he goes out, and we are at home by ourselves, we always want to practice whatever, he was doing whenever he was at home. So with even the speed alone, that's why that we didn't know what we were typing. We just be doing pam, 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 pam. It was actually amazing because he doesn't even look at the keyboard. He just type, pa, 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 the paper has rolled out and all of that. It was quite a fascinating thing to see at that point in time where kids at that time, but we do know that it was really amazing. It was amazing. And to capital, he was a chief typist in the College of Medicine.
Oh,
and
wow.
every College of Medicine in Nigeria. So every typing work goes to him. So it was really an experience. And we're opportune once in a while we go to his office and we see how he does these things. The speed was that thing that actually amazes us then.
Wow, thank you for that. Before I make a comment about what you said, so quick one, how does it feel now to think about it that you can't even find that entire expression in offices anymore? How does it feel?
Wow. It shows that the world is, constantly moving, and you can hardly find a typewriter these days. If you have to see it, maybe all these charge and bill lawyer that will say type your what is it called? affidavit and all
your
of that.
affidavit at Ikeja, you know.
Yes, it's even fading away, I think. So the world has actually, moved ahead to something more sophisticated.
Okay. I got to the Ikeja. Yes. So if people want to join us, I'm so sorry. We have a challenge. It's 100 persons per for this particular seminar. So if please patch them onto YouTube and give them the YouTube link. We're live there. We're sorry, but we can only take 100. I can see people in the waiting room, and actually I'm pinned. Okay, I can see some people's hands raised. Please go for it. Let me look for the hands raised.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so it's very interesting. That is just a feeling of nostalgia for me. I had to start learning how to use typewriter anytime I come home for midterm. Back then while I was in secondary school. Once I'm on midterm, I must learn. And of course, because my dad is actually a secretary and a typist in the office, so I always have my assignment well cut out for me. ASBF, semicolon, FKJ, with the spring. I will have a whole minute of meeting, which you always give me, or a book, which I must finish before the end of the midterm. So I got to use the typewriter several times. In fact, I just gave out our typewriter just about 2 months ago. I just gave out the typewriter because I kept it for a very long time because I needed to show my son to also see what the typewriter looks like. And of course, how to develop, his typing speed, even on the keyboard. So I did a lot of that with him recently until, about 2 months ago. I eventually give a typewriter out to those Malam at Agege Ojuni. I had to just go and give it to them because it became a monument in the house. I said, okay, fine. Looking back, it's the feeling of nostalgia, how things, changes very fast and very quickly. Yet, the more it changes, the more it looks almost like the same, really. Because it's just that we are trying to just learn how to do those things more efficiently. Those days, now that I can just backspace, when you make a mistake. I mean, I still had to go and look out for the dried bottles of Tipex and stencils, which I see all of those things, I had to dig them all out, I don't know if people these days knows what the Tipex looks like and all of that. So there's that feeling of nostalgia talking about it now. But again, that is just what it is. In another few years, again, we'll be talking about, again, so of us who learned the first set of computers, mainframe computers, and some of us who had the opportunity of going into the old Nitel to see what a mainframe computer looks like. I can imagine people now when they carry their gadget, their small palm tops and laptops and the rest of it now. If somebody had told anybody that, okay, there is one big giant thing that a computer looks like, that's kind of, big thing in a room. It's just the way we talk about the typewriter right now. That's the mainframe computer. I'm sure even when they look at it on the internet now, they'll be wondering the kind of ease and all of those things, like in the oven, when you go into where they put a mainframe computer, all of those things. So that's that feeling of nostalgia, really. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Adeyemi Ajayi. Thank you so much for that. That's very, very instructive. I mean, the nostalgia is heavy. Jimola Downs, you also raised your hand. Jimola Downs, and then there's a lot of comment going on in the chat room. Let's keep them coming. Jimola,
good afternoon. Hello. Yes, I do.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
The caller before me has said it all. It's really a feeling of nostalgia. I'm one of those who actually, when I jackpot to London in the early 80s, I taught myself how to type because it was the one skill that if you knew how to type, you're more likely to get temporary work. So, well, we're on the cusp of a new horizon, pretty much. It's like a level change. Someone recently said, I don't want to go spiritual, but someone recently said that, it's pretty much like what happened with Henry Ford and the automobile, where he built the automobile for America so that everybody could have vehicles to move about. But the roads were still, built for horse-drawn carriages. So I'm happy. I mean, I'm one of the, I was part of the typing era. I went to school then, I learned how to type. I moved on to computers, and I'm really looking forward to what you have to teach us today about the nexus between artificial intelligence and human capital development. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Jibola. Good to hear your voice again. Wow. You see, you just captured it very brilliantly. Exactly what happened to the typewriter, the typing pool. You gave a second example, which is Henry Ford and what happened with automobile. Exactly what happened with the automobile industry with Henry Ford's invention, and again, what happened with the typewriter and the typing pool is about to happen to us. No, it has happened to us with artificial intelligence. The exact capacity for change, the exact capacity for productivity. Before Henry Ford, my grandfather told me, before the motor car came, I was about 12 when he told me that they used to trek, literally physically trek, before bicycles came in southern western Nigeria, from somewhere far in the hinterland of the southern west, and they were going to trek to Lagos. Now, as a young boy of about 7 or 8, I thought the man was giving me fables. I said, no, Grandpa, no, this is not true now. You can't see you trek from here to Lagos. I'm not surprised. And then I asked my dad later in the night, and my dad said, yes. And then the bicycle came, and after the bicycle, the motorcycle, and after the motorcycle, Henry Ford's invention came to Africa. And then you can almost not comprehend anybody saying they're trekking from anywhere in the hinterlands of Africa anymore. All of that change happened, and my grandfather saw those 3 transitions, all the way to you have motor cars. He said, as a young boy, they used to all have to trek physically to Lagos. They knew that time. Now, for me, it's a word I can't even comprehend. Now, artificial intelligence is about to do the same level of change to us. And look, the implications are deep and far-reaching, exhaustive and total and thorough. I will be describing some stuff to you. This is not fiction. In the United Kingdom and in the United States and in Canada, ladies and gentlemen, I put it to you that stuff is happening. In fact, what is going on in the labs right now is that they are trying to hold the reins of AI and allowing human beings to try and comprehend so that we don't have a case where machines will drive us. You see, scratch what you have seen in the movies. It is not an exaggeration. The movies are trying not to shock you. But the things you've seen in the movies, I don't want us to go into the movies now. That was my second illustration or my second point. What have you heard about AI? I wanted to ask you. So what have they told you about AI? What the movies are telling you actually dummies. They are selling you, they're trying to prepare you and wake you up and say to everybody, you guys, let's wake up. What's about to hit us is huge. The producers are trying to use their imagination to comprehend, but the drama is heavy. What AI is about to do to us. And you know what happened to the typing pool? This is the complex nature of this change. What happened to the typing pool and shorthand? So shorthand isn't the problem. And this is not a problem. The advancement it was just the typewriter that went away. Once the typewriter went away, the adjunct field that was around it, which is secretarial, all the secretarial stuff, the confidential secretary role, and the skill set of being a shorthand professional. That skill set of that you could do shorthand just went away with it. You know what happened? It was the year 2000. That was the final coffin, the burial ceremony. It was the advent of the laptop, the personal PC, and then later on, the mobile phone. These 2 things are just the inventions that killed the typing pool. It is totally, everybody was a manager, used to have a secretary. Today, you are your secretary yourself. What has happened by operational efficiency is that there's been a merger of everything you need a typist for, right into your own schedule as an executive. Now is about to get scarier. If I decide to use tunnel vision and I decide to narrow down just for a second with you, you are in the era today where your system is listening to you. You see your laptop, in between your laptop and your phone, they are able to observe you more than your wife or father or mother or relatives. They are with you every moment. As I'm talking, my phone is listening, my laptop is listening. It's a matter of time. My laptop and my phone, in about 15 years of my executive life, can suddenly begin to attend meetings on my behalf. My laptop and my phone can suddenly know my preference and my choices. Can begin to know the name of my children, my wife, my family, can begin to know what I do per time. And he has a long time to observe me. Never underestimate someone or something that can learn you. This is the concept of deep learning. Learning at a level so there are many things I would do for myself, including write a memo, write something. I'll just tell my phone and my laptop to please write it for me. That's all. I just wanted to use an example of a narrow vision. Let's just go on quickly to unravel so that I don't put the cart before the horse. But what is about to hit us in terms of human capital is huge. And human capital professionals must be at the forefront. We must be at the leadership driver. Yes, somebody, let me just quickly look at the chat room just for a minute. All right. Yes, museum, yes, go on. 419, oh, sorry about that, my mom, Tipex. Tipex is also gone. By just the backspace, the whole industry is gone. Everybody is a Tipex manufacturer all over the world now. If you manufacture Tipex, that industry is gone because of a key on the keyboard called backspace. That's all. Typewriter, yes. Thank you. Please follow the chat room. People are actually saying wonderful things there. Let me shock you. Everything you're saying, the next time you open into Google will suggest topics all around your conversations on phone. I don't know if I've observed that. You've observed that Google suggests for you, or CNN begins to play recordings of the things you are speaking about on phone. Your TVs are listening to you. They are now made because the idea is that they pair them with you. The idea is that the TV screens, the modern TV screens from about year 2016 are trained to look at your eyes. They know where your eyeballs is fixated. If it's not fixated, in a short while, TV is going to ask you, your smart equipment. Human interaction has got to that point where your eyeball and the screen are, and if a new person comes into the house, the system knows. And so it's going to ask you, take your remote for a few minutes so that we know you are still watching, because the system knows, it adjusts your sight. Yes. House of Google was suggesting your thoughts. Yes. Because every time you pick your phone to talk, they are listening to you. Say, hello, Kike, can you please help me get Ofada sauce, Afang sauce, and that tomato red puree that you have around your office? I'm going to Adi Amalaki. He's listening. In the evening, you are scrolling. Just going to be giving you food suggestions on your Google search. You're wondering, how is this happening? They are listening to you. Just imagine someone that's able to watch you, able to just listen to you unbiased for the next 5 years. Just imagine. Yeah, thank you. Siri can do a lot now for iPhone users. You know what's happening? You're beginning to stop interacting with human beings. You're beginning to look for everything around your gadgets and your systems. Those things are becoming human. They are humanizing them. Humors, the factor of emotion, the factors of humanity are being planted into machines. And that is one of the last frontiers of AI. As a Christian, my comfort is that maybe Jesus will soon come. That's a joke. That's a way of making light of the matter. Jesus coming is not the joke. The joke is that the tension I feel when I look at AI, I just feel like, anyway, the world will not be forever. Because the things are getting scary. Very soon, machines will run us. For this conversation, I'll try and break AI down very simply, very quickly. And what are the impacts on HCD? And how do we quickly be at the forefront so that AI does not bite us? We will take advantage of AI, particularly from a strategic and a best practice perspective. And what are the opportunities for collaboration and implementation for AI-enabled HCD. And we conclude. And look at me, ladies and gentlemen, we won't have the time in this next 20, 30, 40 minutes to do what we have to do. No, we will have to interact over a longer period. The issues are deep, the conversations are strong. Africa as a continent has another layer of challenge, which at some point I will also talk about. And I jokingly said it, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in the history of humanity, we are the first generation who have the highest number of diverse groups in the workspace. I just told you that the people born after year 2000 are already in the workspace. And the people born in the next 10 years, the guys who are born in year 2010 will enter the workspace. And the COVID babies are coming to the workspace in about 15 years to 20 years time. COVID babies are coming. They will now enter the workspace. There's another way to think about them and what will happen when they come. But I'm not going to go to the COVID babies today. What am I saying? We are the generation that is officially going to lead man and machine and animals to war. So right now in the military, dogs, chimpanzees, birds, orangutans, goats, sheep, sharks, whales are being trained for military warfare. So the head of HR of the United States Army has in his fleet, has in his human capital plan, dogs, has leave policy for whales, has leave policy. The Directorate of Human Resources of the Air Force of the United States and the United Kingdom have birds who they are training. They have leave plan and HR strategy for the canary birds who carry messages for military signaling. There are people who are summoned for military assignment today with canary birds. The canary bird will just stand in front of their house and then sing a particular tune 3 times and then fly and hover around. And when the canary bird sees the military officer, enters his car, the canary bird takes off and goes back to the barracks. We have dogs, pigs, who are more military combatants today than being pest animals. Many airports all over the world already use dogs. So Akalitu is like, wow. Yes, Adebukola, yes, we have dogs. Majority of the drug of the narcotics investigation and drug investigations, you are cutting down now on human beings and you're using dogs more because of the sniffing capacity of dogs. Majority of the international airports all over the world have highly trained dogs and highly strongly trained cats. So we are the first offices now in the United States, downtown, some towns, use dogs to do groceries. They use them to go to supermarket to pick up groceries. They use dogs now to guard babies, and a lot of things are going on. So we are the first generation that will lead man, machine, and animal to battle. The HR director or the human capital director, somebody say how so? That's what's going on, because we must operationalize and do efficiency. There are things that animals can do more than human beings. For example, when it comes to sensing, when it comes to traditional sensing functions, like if there were to be earthquake today, it's been shown that animals, birds, squirrels, bats, animals don't get affected by earthquakes as much as human beings do, because they have central nervous and sensory functionality that is able to detect danger and delta changes in the atmosphere or the air around them. And so they can literally predict that we have danger of a certain size and magnitude, and hence they're able to run. Now, human beings are deficient in sensing that level of danger. So if there were to be earthquake that will happen, and there's a whole building, we better have a seismic trained dog or cat on the ground floor. Based on the agitation of the cat, we can save more people if there were to be earthquake. From an environmental impact assessment and HR, occupational health and safety perspective, we better invest in those dogs, because if there were to be an earthquake, that would be the saving grace of everybody in the high rise. So better, how much is having 20 of such dogs on the ground floor, or having them somewhere being taken care of in the basement? And we take them out, and they are just set, they have been bred and trained to understand small vibrations within the earth layers, several kilometers below Earth's surface. And they can know that something, and they will run away from the place, and we know we should all evacuate the place. And so yes, we have, that is plenty from markets without human attendees. All right. Anyway, I just said that to say, man, machine, and animals will coexist in the coming future that is already here. How are we going to manage these intricacies as the director or the leader of human capital development? It's more than compensation and benefit for your top execs and top talent alone. You got to think compensation and benefit for the canary bird, for the chimpanzee that is in your warehouse, that is helping you to look at the bio of the environment, all manner and all sorts of things going on, if you care to find out. I just threw that in to say we cannot be naive or oblivious, especially if you are going to play in the global space, all right? I've kept the definitions very simple, something that you can easily understand. This is by far a simplistic view. Actually, my honest opinion is that we must have talent managers who are AI professionals. We must have compensation and benefit leaders or thought leaders who are vast in AI. We must have, please remind me the other adjunct fields, and they'll all just flew out right now. We must have in occupational therapy who are AI specialists. We must have all the beautiful names within organizational development, organizational strategy, employee engagement. We must have all of those functions that are embedded in the thinkings of AI. This is a new world view. It's a new world that we cannot allow, because it will affect lifestyle, it will affect human beings, it will affect organization and business productivity. Because of this, you must understand AI, and HR must immerse and find that nexus. And the time to do it is now, especially for the African continent. From a definition perspective, AI refers to the simulation of human intelligence, the idea that all forms of human intelligence, and that, please capture that to mean all forms of human intelligence, everything a human being can do and cannot do, and trying to put that capability into a machine to think and learn like humans. The key thing is to learn like humans. Now, that's dangerous. That's very instructive. To learn like a human being would learn, to master something, because everything, the assumption is that we came to the world as tabula rasa. Remember, we did not come to this world with anything. There's no knowledge. When you arrived as a baby, the tragedy of it is that you never met yourself. But let me backtrack that a little bit just to say to you, everything you know, you learned, including how to drive, how to eat, your name. You learned your dad, you learned your mom, you learned them. So why can't a machine learn? So if we have deep learning capabilities and we give that to a machine, or we give a machine the ability to just simply, unbiasedly just learn, that key is the unusual capacity of AI. That is the strength that you should never underestimate. Any learner is a master any day. Please, you want to jot that down. Any learner is a master any day. Anything that can learn can master you. Whatever can learn can master you. Whatever can learn can master you. Whatever can learn, mastery stops when learning stops. So this will enable them to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. That's all. The idea of AI, really and technically, is to humanize machines. Now, That is very powerful. And there are many arguments. And you know, when people have knowledge is very powerful, it can destroy more than real knowledge. Half knowledge. It's the enemy of good and real knowledge. It's a criminal kind of thing. When you know something small, you know color, and then because of that, you become an artist. You have to say things like, because of human emotion, AI is not coming anywhere near. I just ask insecure. I say, this is how typists were saying, no need. I'll go for another course in how to use Piker machine. We'll go to Elite and Ericsson machine. Okay. Both Ericsson and Elite and Piker machine are all done today. Ladies and gentlemen, everything a human being can do can be modeled and modulated and can be put into what you call codes and gradations. Once I can describe how happy I am as, am I very happy, medium happy, or low happy? That's all. I'll give that to a machine. I'll put all the behavioral, and the machine is not rushing. The machine wants to learn for 1 million people. What is your own high? What's your own medium? What's your own low? What's your own high? What's your own medium? What's your own low? Like that, we can impute into a machine to behave in a happy way because it has several reference points of data. That is the scary part of AI. I like to keep up with what's happening. Yeah, people are putting links. Thank you for that. Yes, mastery stops where learning stops. Yes. Are we advanced as a race? What's the future of work? Yeah, thank you for that question. I see you, Chief Sydney. Yes, we have supermarkets without human attendees already. And I don't want to. You just put something very powerful on my radar there, Chief Sydney. Thank you for that. You see, our powers to computate, our abilities to do tasks that are repetitive, our accuracy and precision because of our humanity drops by the laws of natural attrition and fatigue. Machines eliminate that. So machines are now looking in healthcare at a surgeon who the machine just looks at a surgeon, just sits and looks at the surgeon. The machine will just be watching Mr. Surgeon perform his surgery for 10 years. The machine will just be looking at the surgeon. And in 10 years, the machine can begin to attempt to perform some operations under the surgeon's supervision for another 5 years. In 20 years, the surgeon may not be needed again. We just need to acquire the machine. Now imagine if every single surgeon in the entire county or the entire state go through this experience. So we can have in about 20 years, machines that have the benefit of 100 or 1,000 surgeons, having watched them perform the same procedure and being with the doctor in post-operative care, fed all that information and intel and all the anatomy into the computer. And so in healthcare, we probably will need doctors like that. We don't need that level of surgery done again, maybe another 25, 30 years. I don't want to start on finance, how everything you are doing in Comp and Ben, I wish my guys in Comp and Ben will speak here. For example, everything you're doing in Comp and Ben, one machine can sit with you guys and be learning everything your department is doing. And the machine will finish everything you're doing in payroll, or from payroll will start from the 25th or the 26th or the 15th of the month so that you can meet the 25th based on your cycle. Okay, we start approval, I get approval on the 5th, we go to ESCOM on the 10th to approval, the HODs will approve, then if there is any leave, then we calculate so that we can pay on the 25th, right? Now, you have a team of 8 people who are all doing compensation and benefit analysis, working with the finance team to actually ensure that that happens. Ladies and gentlemen, one very good robot can do all of that work in a day. Just sit the machine down. The machine will be in the department with you guys for 5 years or 2 years or 3 months. Look at all the data. Look at how you are doing it repeatedly. And in exactly X number of days, weeks, and months, everybody will have to go home because the machine has mastered it. Manufacturing, don't get me started. We now have machines, or based on the knowledge of artificial intelligence, we have machines that they tailor make. I mean, one of the things why I use my personal tailor is because of the cuts, because of the edge. And so I'll just feed all of my jackets and all of my suits then in central London into a particular line. And then I put on the suits that I like the fit, and I'll tell the machine my preference, and the machine can turn for me 25 suits in just about 3 days. Actually, you will sew the suits in 1 day, because what's happening is the machine knows my style now and just begins to do it. And what's going on for 3 days, because they want to clear, I will come and refit and say whether it's fine. And the machine is watching everything. So in about 2 or 3 years, that company does not need me to refit anymore. They already know my preference, because every time I order from them, the same thing happens. Today, in Sweden, there are now driverless buses in town. Today, you don't need to charge your Tesla cars, your electric cars in Sweden. You don't need to charge it in the charging port. There are roads now when you drive, it's charging the car. That is AI working. Master the circuits, it's known the circuits. Every time you charge your car, it's connected to a central server. They see how much the wattage, the internal systems, everything that your car is using, they know how it works. So when you land on that road and begin to drive, it connects with the central server. Oh, this is this guy. This is a 10 millimeter DC cable. Your information as a circuit, as a car is already there. Everything is there. It will just supply the amount of energy you need to drive through while also charging your car. And all of this is happening electronically as you're moving. You don't even know that something is going on. You're not using your energy. You're traveling on that road, and Sweden hopes to roll that out. By the way, all over the developed world, and Nigeria has signed up to that. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu mentioned it, and the West is trying to get us to reduce carbon footprint. We're going to go electric cars. When we go electric cars, a lot of this is going to enter Nigeria too. I wonder what happened to your mechanic. I don't know how many of you know that already. Those guys that pump tires. I mean, the traditional name is vulcanized. That's what we call them in Nigeria. I don't know whether you know that their job is already gone. There are now things that do everything they do. One small box like this, you can jack, you can pump, you can do everything. I mean, it's popular already in Lagos. It's not abroad. This is already, and in like manner, there are today service centers in Nigeria, but they are not yet popular, that will troubleshoot and tell you what's wrong immediately with your car and help you to fix the part yourself. You drive in, you key into the machine, say the oil valve is blah, 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 and da. In Nigeria, they are not allowed to be mainstream, but someone has imported it into Nigeria already, and that person uses it for his own cars and his own fleets today in Nigeria, but it's not yet mainstream. But I trust me, someone who is a crazy entrepreneur will try to bring that into town. That is probably the end for a category of labor that we have in the country. If you think about the incidence of poverty and what that can do for talent management, and there are many tasks, many tasks within our worldview as HR professionals, and even for the businesses we manage, there are many functions that have a lot of repetitive tasks. Those functions are gone. And for the ones that have humane or emotional or personal touch tasks, or the skill sets that require some human intervention, AI is being taught to learn like humans, enabling them to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. And they are patient, they are not rushing. They don't claim that they master it more than you. They can wait for 10 years looking at you and watching you. How do you escape from someone that's watching you without judgment for 10 years? You're a lawyer, you go to argue court case, and your phone is listening for you for 10 years. Your style, your phone will tell you things about you you did not know. Your phone is going to plot out the style. So the key is learning like humans, so that they're able to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. That's all. That is the secret about AI. All right, let me just check the chat box. Okay, yes, yeah, thank you for that. Yes, machine should just fly. All right, thank you for that. If you want the certificate, yes. Okay, thank you. Let me go on. Okay, concerning skills, what are the transformative potentials of AI in reshaping the future of work? And this answers your question, Chief Sidney, and the evolving skill requirements. Ladies and gentlemen, AI is reshaping the future of work and changing the labor market dynamics. We have no choice. This is why. every business will try to optimize profit and productivity. Because of that, you will want to do things in a way that profits you the best. Therefore, you will adapt to the change. There is in Manchester a Japanese restaurant. I think it's called Sakura Japan, somewhere in Manchester. If you ever in Manchester, visit. There are, as I speak there this evening, there are already machines that take order and they don't mix it up. The machine will take your order at your table and the machine will go to the kitchen and bring back your order. McDonald's has deployed it all over. And the cost of one machine is being made to be very low compared to hiring a human being. Anything that's a routine task, and an accountant and finance people in the house, I'm sorry, and people who are in HR, who your tasks are routine and repetitive. The thinking in AI is that we want to remove you from this so that you can be freed up to focus on higher value and more creative work. That's what AI is attempting to do. Which employer doesn't like higher value and more creative work? That's how we're going to get paid in the future. Remember, you get paid by how much value you create or you can bring in and how much creative work that you're able to do. The evolving skill requirements that we need for an AI-driven workforce demand technical proficiency. Those are the new skill sets that must be built into the workforce so that people don't lose their jobs too much. Some people will lose their jobs, but we must now prepare them with much more technical proficiency as talent managers, critical thinking, the ability to drive creativity beyond what machines can drive, and ability to adapt to changing conditions beyond what a machine can provide in the mid and the shorter terms. In the long term, I doubt if there's no adaptability that the machine cannot adapt to. I doubt, because I have some understanding of technology. Industries across various sectors are integrating AI, and that's why skill sets like data analysis, machine learning, and programming are growing. Let me say this categorically: we will not be able to avoid these guys. Data analysis, machine learning, and programming, we probably will not be able to avoid some of us going to learn and grow those skill sets. I know you don't like programming. I know that you don't like data analysis. I know you came to HR or human capital because you feel it's an alternative to some of the stress of mathematics and data analytics and machine learning. I empathize because I happen to understand how that thinking and feeling works. But you may be out of a job, or you may not be able to earn, or you may be at the mercy of market and labor dynamics in the coming future. Please don't despair yet. Some of the changes I'm describing, some of them are still far off, and some are still very close. And there's this group of professionals who are saying, he can't come to Nigeria yet. He can't come yet. Really? Nigeria is one of the countries in the world that has the highest number of what you call leapfrog in response to technology. We seem like we are backward. All of a sudden, we just catch up. There are people here who knew the pre-GSM era. If you know the changes that have happened because GSM came to Nigeria, in like manner, AI will come into town and it will sweep a lot of people up there. A lot of persons, I don't want to use the negative word that sweep them down, so I will say to sweep them up the skills and employability ladder. We must embrace lifelong learning, and there must be active upskilling if you want to thrive in the future of work and seize the opportunities presented by AI. I said to you, I've done the past 5 years of nibbling and reading and going around at seminars in AI. Trust me, this particular intervention is coming from what I have seen by peering across the ledge. I'm worried. A lot of us we're just having a big party. It's a very big party we are having on one side, and we're not thinking about what's about to hit us. The tsunami is huge. Let's look closely at the relationship between AI and human capital development. I like to stay positive. That's why I will start with the opportunities this presents us before we go to the challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, AI technologies have the potential to augment our abilities so that we can be more productive and efficient across industries. And embracing AI will open up avenues for job creation and innovation, specifically for human capital professionals across the spectrum. I will, at the end, give examples of how talent management, comp and ben, occupational health and safety, organizational development, employee engagement and management, and all the functions of HR. I will give some snapshot, but there is a bigger engagement that AHRP is championing about the nitty-gritty of this particular. If you really want to increase your capacity and you want to use AI as a strategic advantage for your career and you want to leap with it, there is a way, and it's not going to be a 1 hour, 30 minutes or 2 hour conversation. It's a conversation that is not less than, at the minimum, about 6 to 12 months. Because there are many things you need to understand so that you can prepare your business and your organization for the coming tsunami. You can prepare your CEO and your managers so that you can prepare people through the line so that you don't have a lot of shockers like the typing who just went quietly away. Or what happened to productivity once Henry Ford came up with the automobile industry. Let me just say this to everyone listening to me. Please go study Henry Ford and his change. When you study Henry Ford a little bit, you will understand what happened during that revolution of the 1900s when automobiles took charge. When we now had cars that was not driven by horses, and were now driven by machines or mechanics, electromechanics first of all, and then became electromechanics or mechatronics as the years went by. Embracing AI will give us new jobs because there are new jobs. Even within the HR spectrum, there are new jobs that AI is powering. We want to move in that direction quickly. Challenges include, because I want to stay positive, there will be job displacement, and people need to reskill and upskill in the workforce. We must also ensure that people have access to AI education and training opportunities as learning and development experts and as talent management experts. We must ensure that there is equitable access to AI education and equitable access to AI systems. There's a movie called Coded Bias. It's on Netflix. If you have not seen that movie and you are a professional that is Black or you are any other race, particularly for Black professionals, please go watch Coded Bias. It's important you watch that movie. There are big issues going on. We are being scaled out of the global economy. And this is a concern for anyone in government or in leadership. Because we don't have points of data or points of reference, we are being skimmed out systematically out of the global AI conversations. Machines were trained to recognize smile in customer service. But the machines at the point of data, the machine and look at the face of, let's say, 3 million respondents. In those 3 million, the number of Blacks in the distribution or people who are of the Black pigment like you and I were very few. Because of that, when the Black person came and the Black person, and the signal to open the door or to access that particular building was a smile. When Black people came because the machine was not used to the pigmentation of our blackness. It's somewhat just saw the black face as a frowning face altogether. Asians, Taiwanese, Koreans, Chinese people had the same challenge because their eyes is like that. You know, most of them, as a black person, you probably don't recognize them. When they approached the machines, when they noticed that this was a problem, what they did was also now supply their own AI solutions. They began to build their own AI platforms. And that's a case for Africans. And if you are someone with Pan-African love, as the AHRP community, and Michael's my brother on this, he loves Africa as a continent so much. And same for me, that's why I'm doing this. One of my major reasons for doing this, because we're about to be alienated. What Asians did was that they just began to create their own AI machines and their AI alternatives. So when you need a customer service solution that will use Smile to access a service, what's going to happen is that if it's going to be in Japan or in China, you must buy their solution. We don't even have an African solution. So the machines and the systems that are being coded today are biased against us because our pigmentation is black. It's so bad that somewhere in the United Kingdom, the machines began to profile blacks and began to attach to them unusualness or rarity. Those two factors are to be investigated. So police officers, when they used AI and cameras to try to reduce crime in a certain community, police started apprehending blacks, and they didn't even know that they were biased because the machine was coded that way. The solution is not to say, hey, we told you that these machines are inferior to human beings. No. The solution is for us to now begin to code and begin to collect our own data points and create our own AI solutions. Let me go to the chat room. And there are also ethical implications of AI systems. As you will see, yeah, Coded Bias, that's the movie title, Coded Bias. It's on Netflix. Please go watch it. I think it's on Netflix, it's on Prime. It's in a couple of other platforms. You need to watch that movie if you're an African professional. And if you are interested in learning more about AI, please, there will be a link to register. And what are the solutions we can work together on? The other thing about AI is that you cannot do AI alone. It's big and it's huge. You must just collaborate. It is big, it is huge, the investments are plenty, and the land is green. If you're interested in this, please talk to AHRP, talk to Michael, or talk to me, or you can send me a personal message or reach out to me on LinkedIn. We will work together. This is not something self-say. We are also starting our own, you know, Africans. I mean, I hear the other evening, just about yesterday evening, the lady in Ekiti. Forgive me, Ekiti, people who are here. Forgive me, I want to throw a little jab. It's time to start our own, what do you call that now? Our own cooking competition because we want to compete with Hilda. Now, a record, how do you start breaking a record? How do you start breaking? What is it?
It's called cookating, Abi.
Oh, yes. Cookating, yes, thank you. So she started her own cookating. I mean, what are you cookating when they have not even certified the first person in your country? How do you break a record that does not exist? What kind of agility is Yoruba word for stubbornness that is not agility? So this is not a time to say this. We are at a point in history where the sons and daughters of Africa must become African and Pan-African. You can't do this alone. You can't go, our own AI platform is bigger than your own. So we have gone to Malaysia to go and partner. You know all these business models that Africans do. You have partner with another person that has bigger AI capacity because we want to beat your own company. It won't work. In Ghanaian emphasis, Charlie, it will not work. You need Africans to form a nexus and a critical fab mass and work together because it's a continental challenge. It's a global challenge. You cannot deliver with your company alone, no matter your coding capacity. You will, at the end of the day, spend a lot of money and nothing will come out of it. You need mass market. You need mass integration. And for the first time, we need to work together. But I know Africans, after this seminar, other HR groups will start their own seminar on AI. That's what currently happens. And people start doing their own AI school. And at the end of the day, nobody goes anywhere. We have several small initiatives like that all over Africa because if you see the movie Coded by Acid, to show you what I'm saying. And the bane of the black man is not lack of intelligence. Ekiti revolt. Thank you. The bane of the black man is not intelligence. We don't know how to collaborate. Bigger than you and you are bigger than me is the spirit that has made me personally, I shut down from many ventures because people are just stupidly, unnecessarily competitive. Even when there are only 2 people at the bus stop and the whole bus arrives. Have you seen how people just at the bus stop to enter the bus? That is the spirit of you understand? Because something may happen and you may not get seat. And I agree with you. But it's a big bus for God's sake, and they're still elbowing each other. The conductor is saying, take it easy. No. They're fighting to enter. Empty. All right. The key skills and capabilities needed to thrive in the AI-driven economy. You need technical skills. You won't be able to run away from it. And technical skills, yes, because for the first time, I just told you that your phones, your TV, your laptop are closer to you than your wife. I mean, Google sent me a message some time back. Please forgive me. That these are the places I went to. Excuse me, who sent you work? I remember I was in the central area and I was looking at my phone and I was like, Google is sending you a report of your April move. Who sent you? Who told you where I'm going to? How come? Who told you? Who told you that this is where I'm going to? Who gave you the idea that this is what I'm doing? How come you put yourself in this pit, my pit? Technical skills will require some discomfort. Already, your machines are listening to you. Already, your TV is suggesting programs and series. YouTube is suggesting series to you based on what you're watching. They are listening to your conversations. Every day, you're interacting with machines in ways you don't know. Your cards, your ATM card, and the ATM machines are picking your face and the places you withdraw money from on an average. Machines and humans are interacting and interactions have started. Why shouldn't you learn how these machines are? And that can take 2 years. It's okay. It can take 3 years. Remember, learning should not be with speed. We will need to increase our critical thinking and problem-solving abilities. We will need to grow creativity and innovation skills because we need more of this in the coming workforce. We will need to become more adaptable and flexible beyond the value that machines can provide in the short to mid-term. Then we must be aware of the ethical and privacy issues and responsible AI practices because there is a lot of intrusion, ladies and gentlemen, into our personal space. And we are buying these machines. The more sophisticated your phone, the more powerful. Are you aware that any picture you take now, where the picture was taken can be found out? Yes, Google Maps is already doing Now, yes, Google Maps can suggest where to go on some specific days based on your movement pattern per time. Yes, Google location tells me the time I used to get to my work every morning and how many minutes I used to get home in the afternoon. I was shocked. Yeah, it will tell you, say you are now on your way home. Google records 2 places. The place you go in the morning, we just tag it for you as work. The place you return to at night, just tag it as. And then Siri knows it's your husband calling. Siri knows. Siri is trained to, when someone you are fond of calls you, Siri is getting trained now to make the ring louder and in a funkier way. It's the same, it's the same thing, but you will do some inflection, you will feel happier that the person is calling. Ridiculous things machines are doing to us now. There are ethical and privacy issues involved. The first site to go is Instagram, the person's profile. Your machine knows. The social media engine knows. They just, as you're opening your phone, you put your thumbprint or you put your eye, you just bring that person's profile. You don't need to type their name anymore. You go and bring the person's profile. Anything you're watching, your phone brings you more of it. And we need continuous learning and upskilling. Those are the key skills according to that we need to grow our AI capacity. What are the ethical considerations? I will try and rush this up now. And responsible use of AI in capital development. We must think ethics, and they're very crucial because this is very intrusive. what's happening in AI is very intrusive. There must be fairness, transparency, and implementation. There must be a lot of fairness and transparency when we're implementing. We cannot afford to be shady. We must work at avoiding bias and discrimination in the algorithms. And if you don't even have presence there, if you don't even know what's going on, like coded bias will show you. And we must allow human beings make their decisions. We must not make machines to make decisions for us. And we are getting to that point because there's something called the fatigue of decision. Many of us are fatigued when decision making is too much. When you have too many decisions to make, decision fatigue sets in. That decision fatigue is a scary thing for many human beings. It's a very scary thing. And as a human being, as a professional, as a human being, as a leader, you must, of a necessity, especially as HR, you must be at the forefront of humanizing decision making and allow people to make their decisions so that machines don't. It's very easy, especially when you're fatigued and in management, to outsource decision making. It's one of the last frontiers we must protect by ethics deliberately. Privacy and data security of individuals is a key ethical concern. I am a data security person. My work in cybersecurity covers that, and I don't want to get very excited. But what is going on with AI is scary. There must be a striking of balance between automation and human involvement so that humanity is not lost. We must deliberately guard and guide it. All right. Let me just quickly talk about how do we enhance human capital through AI? What are the best practices and the strategies to do that? Number one, we will have to think about automating repetitive and mundane tasks so that we're able to free up ourselves to focus on more complex and creative endeavors, and then we can create real heavy value. Talent can go to where they are really talented. What are the things that you can do that machines cannot do? That will be an interesting question for the purpose preachers in town. What are the things that you can do that a machine cannot do? When you answer that question, you probably have a gold mine on your hand. I don't want to go into cooking. Now we have AI machines that are learning cooking. In the coming days, chefs will be endangered because everything you are doing, a machine is now watching you to take over. So we can roll the machine out. So when you taste the donut in central London, it's the same donut in Manchester. When you go to Warsaw in Poland, when you are in downtown Chicago, or you're with my friend and brother in New Jersey who likes early morning McDonald's donuts. He likes a burger. He has a specific one he loves, the McDonald's biscuit. He loves it so much. He lives in New Jersey right there. Or you are in Dallas, Texas. The same recipe is what you have no matter where you are. If you are someone in customer service, the color blue of our brand, or let me use any of the brands like Glow or Etisalat, the color blue, you meet in Okitipupa, or you meet in Jigawa State, or you meet in Nasarawa, you meet in Lagos, and the same customer, the audio, the voice that greets you on the machine, good morning, Titi, they pronounce your name very well the same way. You have standards. So if all your value is all this, I can speak good English, a machine will just start doing it on you. What's the point? We need to grow complexity and creative thinking and reproduce that more in human beings in a way that machines will be led by us. All right, thorough advanced data analysis and machine learning algorithms. We will need to understand data analysis and machine learning algorithms, and there are many classes and schools that help us so that you can make people analytics decisions. Imagine you are managing a workforce of 5,000 people nationwide, and you are still on Excel. You would need to get valuable insights so that you can make informed decisions at strategic level as director of HR. So we need to grow data analysis and machine learning algorithm skill sets, because data can be skilled. You can use data to say what you want it to say. You can manipulate data. So you must understand how to interrogate data and allow it to interpret itself. So if you are the lead of HR or you are in strategic meetings, you must know how to use data analytical thinking, at least from a management perspective or a think-through perspective, to know what it should give you. You know enough about machine learning algorithms, and give the programmers instruction about the fields they are supposed to look for, can begin to say what factors are true correlators and what factors don't correlate. When it rains, people in Lagos get late to work. Is a statement. It may not be true, it may be true. Somebody can come and then you see data, like, oh yeah, and you can begin to read your bias, yeah, because if you look at all the rainy mornings, but if your machine helps you and you understand how algorithms work, you can investigate and say, no, stop that thing, stop that thing, stop it. That is fallacy of ST generalization and conclusion. That's human error. We are reading the type of bias into it. And we look at what data says independently. Can you turn the algorithm this way? Can you change the X and Y? Can we think what is X and what is Y? You don't even know. You should just come to the management meeting. They said this is what this is the data. Data said this is the way you people are behaving in this office. You can always come late once it rains. You are illiterate. I'm sorry. I'm being brash, but that's what's going to happen to a lot of us. They will dump data on you and you think it's correct. We must approach AI and as human capital development experts, especially as custodians of productivity and excellence in the organization. We must be able to drive intelligent automation through AI streamlined processes that reduces errors and increases efficiency. You must know how to determine what are the processes that are matured enough and we can AI file. What are the processes that are business critical, operationally critical, yet customer or bottom line impacting enough to worth that investment? And we must select which candidate opportunities we will test and pilot, and how are we going to approach the AI journey in an enterprise environment. There's something called natural language processing and chatbot technologies that enhance customer service and response times. You don't need to keep people somewhere overnight. A chatbot can learn everything and be able to do first line once it's 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. That helps work-life balance. That helps everybody to live a good life. Collaborative AI systems facilitate seamless teamwork and knowledge sharing among human workers, because AI can help all of you to see how a meeting is progressing, how many useful ideas. AI can watch us in a management meeting for the next 10 years, and after 10 years, tell us how efficient we'll be with our meetings, how much solutions come out of these meetings, how much productivity comes out, and we can have AI help us look for continuous innovation and development to unlock more opportunities to leverage human potential and drive productivity gains. So for me, I see AI as a booster, not a negative. At the end of the day, we must upskill and we must reskill. You must do your own learning, and you must sift through AI-powered tools and platforms, and there are different individual learning paths and patterns all over the world, all the way from Coursera, there are courses on human capital and AI, talent management and AI, compensation benefit organization, and development and AI. The list is low.
Good evening.
Someone is speaking. Can you help me? Data analytics will also help you. Somebody is speaking. Can you mute? Okay. Data analytics can also help you. I see your hand, MGI. Let me just do some more slides and I'll take your comments or question. Data analytics can help you identify skill gaps and inform development of targeted training programs. I don't want to go into VR and augmented reality, but learning and development has changed. I mean, at what point do you master a skill? At what point do you master driving? Is it behind the wheel, on the road, or when you're in the driving class? At what point do you master swimming? Is it when you are in the pool and you are now sinking? So you know that this is flotation, or when they are describing flotation as a word in dictionary. What virtual reality and augmented reality can do is to create learning experiences that train the nerve endings of an individual. They train the central nervous system, and they grow your skill set at the level of your nerves. They sort of do an injection, an immediate direct injection of the skill set right into your nerve endings directly. By the time you sit down and you do a simulation exercise of flying an aeroplane that is 90 to 95% close to if you were in the air right there, you feel all the turbulence. It's a different experience if you're learning how to fly an aeroplane rather than what somebody tells you to do. There are now whole simulation exercises where you are in a company and it's not on the system. You stand up, you see the department head seated, you're in 3D augmented environment, you are learning stuff, you are seeing meetings, you're seeing agitation, you're seeing everything as if it's a real office, beautiful learning experience. I myself would like to invest in one. They are all over the United States and in Australia. Yeah. AI can enhance agility, responsiveness, effectiveness of workforce development programs, and we need to find a way to grow that capacity so we can adapt to the dynamic nature of the AI-driven economy.
Is it small, but
it's a whole bargaining happening there. Please buy my own, excuse me. I mean, it's going to be unfair. I hope it's plantain you are buying or something that I can also eat. Buy mine and send to me by WhatsApp. Or call Michael, he knows how to get this to me. All right. I'll do a little bit of case studies. Some of these you can consult online. There is the IBM for learning and development, IBM Watson Skills Academy. They use AI to deliver personalized learning experiences. You go there and then they will ask you many questions and your own specific curriculum based on your level of ignorance or how you want to climb the knowledge tree, computing how much time you have, what you want to do, where your aim is, what level of mastery do you want. The system gets all of this and it gives you a learning plan that works for you specifically. And there's also the Siemens Reskilling Initiative, where they are trying to use AI-driven reskilling to address the changing skill requirements because things are changing in the manufacturing industry. So the AI is helping them to study the industry, and then they are using that to develop their own reskilling initiative and the courses that people should go for internally. AI is also helping them to collate what the industry bodies of knowledge are saying. Google also has an AI talent development program that helps to nurture AI talent within its workforce, specifically dedicated to anyone who wants to learn AI. Is a pool. Let's just quickly talk about best practices. You have to think about ethics. This is very important. We will be talking about AI in a particular course that AHRP is putting together. We will announce this course. It's not going to be a short course. We're going to be different professionals. There are professors of AI who will be coming into the room to actually help us with learning and development, deep bodies of knowledge and insights about AI. Some things are very unusual that are about to happen to us as a continent in Africa, and we want to be ready. If you're interested in that move, please kindly reach out to me or to Michael or to the team at AHRP, because this must be a together kind of initiative. Yeah, there's data-driven decision making. You must learn how to use data to make decisions, and you must learn how data speaks. You know how human beings think and how your business thinks. You must now learn how data speaks so that you can use AI thinking to identify skills gap in a more intelligent way. You use that to predict future skill requirements in your industry and for your business. You know what skill sets are rapidly changing, to what degree, and you'll be able to say how you can use the AI knowledge and intel available to you to also know the developmental plans and the things to do, and also inform the decision-making process for targeted training and upskilling initiatives. And also you need to upskill AI literacy. That's to provide training and resources to improve AI literacy among employees so they can understand and use AI technologies. Let me quickly look at the screen. All right, payment received, yes. For those who want to get to certification units, it's important that you actually, thank you for that. All right. Let's go on. Collaboration, and I've spoken about this in passing, and implementation. My God, what did I do? Collaboration and implementation for AI-enabled human capital development. There must be collaboration between governments, educational institutions, businesses, and individuals. You cannot do this alone. Governments will have to have a policy. You can't leave AI to run on its own, and regulatory frameworks. I don't want to scare you, and I have some sensitive information I do not want to share openly. If you are in that class, when we're going to be talking here, I would actually leak some secrets to you about what is happening in the AI regime and how we probably are going to be taking, what is that thing now? What is that when they come and when we are being recolonized through AI? And if governments at state, federal, and pan-regional levels and continental levels do not take a position, we will have irresponsible use of AI. I don't want to say some very dark things that I know. There's some things going on in the dark web right now. We are in some serious soup if nobody's paying attention. We need to have a government approach to some things. I will talk about that in the class for those who would be interested in taking the larger class. Educational institutions have a lot to do in providing the correct AI education that will help us to leapfrog so that we are ready with the necessary skills. Businesses can also collaborate with educational institutions and governments so that we can so that there can be a gap between what the academia is saying and what the industry is saying. There's also collaborative effort to promote knowledge sharing, resource pooling, and all of those things so that we can leverage on technologies around AI. There are policy considerations. Governments need to establish guidelines and regulations so that ethics and accountability is achieved. Policies should address transparency, bias, privacy, data protection, because the powers available in AI are sorry. Too many secrets are there. It's too much. Your innermost secrets can be out there. It's too much. It's too much. Ladies and gentlemen, the powers available within AI, the kind of knowledge that AI will make people have access to is for the first time really too much. It is too much knowledge about people. Too much knowledge. I told you. It is too much. Regulatory frameworks. Okay. Regulatory frameworks can help prevent the use of AI technology, the misuse of it, and protect the rights and well-being of people. There must be collaboration between government and industry experts and stakeholders. And AHRP, CIPM, and all the HR bodies in Nigeria should be at the forefront of working at a nexus with government and providing intellectual capital into the AI realm and domains of knowledge. HR cannot afford an ostrich approach. In the class we're going to be doing, we will look at how to practically develop a comprehensive strategy for integrating AI and human capital in your own domain. If you're in talent management or in your own business or your own industry. We can't do that for everyone here, but this will be done specifically at the training that AHRP is putting together in AI. It's something very massive. How do you apply it specifically in your own domain? Number one, at high level, you must identify what are the specific goals, and this is very technical. You must assess where you are right now in terms of skill and opportunity. You must also here choose the speed at assessment. You must choose the speed that you want to implement based on where you're going as an organization and how much opportunities you want to go after, because you can actually throw the net and the net can drag you into the water. So you can have harvest that can make the fish swallow Jonah. Because even though Jonah was looking for fish, fish swallowed Jonah. That's my own interpretation of saying, don't be greedy. You need to plan and think. You must think about how much collaboration. There's collaboration, competitive collaboration, and you must do failure mode effect analysis, what if scenario thinking that is very deep. You must think about your industry. You must plot in Michael Porter's 5 forces of competitive strategy. As an example, you must think about your person. You must think about the Wanja actually. Help me mute the microphone. God bless you. You must think about the specific industry and the specific terms that you want to drive within the AI world, right? And then you must now design your own programs and training that will integrate the technology and embed it within your business in a way that it enhances human capital development. I think HR should be in the front burner and should be the leader to actually drive this thought. You can also now use this to drive innovation and use that as a competitive strategy within the business so that you have the landscape and first benefits, the first responder kind of benefits. All right, these are the things we have achieved, and I will take questions. 2 people raised their hands. This is not my picture, by the way. This is AI's representation of me. I put into one particular AI machine. I think there's one particular AI machine. How do I look at the person actually? I don't know where they got this idea, because I want my tummy to be this very slim, but it's not. Okay, I'll take your questions now and feedbacks. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Adeoye. It's been an excellent submission. You can achieve that picture if you have an AI machine in your house.
Your voice is cracking, sir. Lewis, your voice is cracking. Can everyone hear Lewis?
Yes, I can hear you.
No, I can't hear him.
Thank you. His voice is cracking, actually.
Hi, Adeoye, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you loud and clear.
Look, okay, this is Tolu speaking. I just wanted to know, I think Louis might have gone into Matrix. Can anyone confirm?
It's possible, but we can take the questions very quickly.
Okay. So there are two hands raised here. So I'll give Mercy George the opportunity to unmute and ask a question. Mercy, you have the floor, please. Mercy, are you on the call?
You can call the next person.
Okay, let's have Emmanuel. Emmanuel, you have the floor, but we can't hear you, please.
Your audio. Maybe to help the bandwidth, I should stop sharing. I see many more.
I apologize. Can I proceed?
Yeah, Mercy, please proceed.
Go ahead now.
A jolly good evening to everybody. Mr. Adeoye, my depth of gratitude for sharing a profound session that is needed. I think my key takeaway was on we have been intentionally excluded in technical skills, but I don't think it's a function of today. It has been a systemic approach to exclude the Black man or the Black race from learning the right skills, taking away creative ability. I'm very interested, for this learning to be adopted, for this learning to be implemented. I'd like, number one, for you to give us context about the partnership that you want to do with the community and how it's going to work if you have the information. Number two, I want to hear the aspect of Agile. By the way, my name is Mercy. I'm the founder of Lento, and I'm focused on training in Agile, people developing skills in that area, because one of the things that I think is held the Black man is our mindset, like you rightly pointed out. Where is the learning of agility, especially for HR?
No, don't worry.
Okay.
Ibinabo was doing, she's busy, or he's busy somewhere.
I love your witty sense of humor. I'm going to connect with you on LinkedIn. So where is the drive for HR professionals, Nigerians, Africans to learn the agile way of working? Because for you to go into the AI development, you need to have a disruptive mindset. You can't go into the same mindset of maybe project management, which is something that is prevalent in the African continent. The new way of working is agile. And if I may just have it, just a little bit of detail, one of our learners that migrated number one, we have a brain drain issue in Africa. Middle class now have all japa. You understand? We have a major endemic problem in Africa, besides the fact that we have lost brain drain. Number two, our people don't have the right skill. Number three, where does the agile training come in? And because I know the function and the benefit of this as an agilist is the reason I raised it. And I'll be interested in that program. Just telling you ahead of time.
Okay. Tolu, and thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. I'm very passionate about the African continent and learning and development and general. To the point that I over the years, I've reined myself in. I'm very passionate. So people think that there's something you're looking for. People think that there's something you're looking for. Anytime you do something, people always have a quiet feeling that there must be something you are looking for. For you to be this passionate, that's the level of my passion to that extent. Coincidentally, so Tolu and Michael at AHRP were championing something together because AI cannot be done by an individual. What we are looking for is societal, is pan-continental. It doesn't matter how big your pocket is. This is not one of those things that you can put chest. Try it. After 5 to 7 years, you will still not be there. You'll have dropped money into the wide ocean and nothing would have happened. Number two, to answer your question directly, coincidentally again, I am both CSM and CSP, that's Certified Scrum Master, Certified Scrum Product Owner, and I'm also PNP. And so I train project management easily. In addition to my work in HR, I know a lot about Agile in itself. Light, Zastura was one who said, and I paraphrase, I think it was a Greek philosopher, if I remember correctly. He said, light is the eldest brother of creation. That's why the first thing that happens anywhere is let there be light. In our continent, we have a depth of knowledge. People don't, so when you use words like agile, and the way people are using it, and that is the problem with, you see, our knowledge is very powerful. Majority of persons in Africa don't, agile is a way of life, is a way of working, is not a training. Number two, there are the contexts and the environments where agile works. And there's where traditional waterfall works. Wherever we need to enter the market quickly and leapfrog, and Mercy, I'm saying this to agree with you at a deeper level. This is not antagonizing you at all. I'm saying, yes, you are very correct. It is a way of life and it's a way of working. It is not a training. The other thing is that agile, wherever we must enter the market before we are ready, in a way that we want to deliver value quickly to the customer, we should think agile. But if you are thinking about tasks that are in and of themselves repetitive, and there is no, and the uncertainties are little, then waterfall approach may be the best. So the new thinking globally is the combination of agile and waterfall. There is also the business case and the moment of existence for waterfall. And the emergent HR agile or agility coach or professional will be someone who can deliver value based on the context and in situ of what is going on within that business. Some business require radical agile thinking. Some business require still waterfall. Majority of businesses require hybrid. The ability to use the two modes to deliver value in a way that organizational productivity is guaranteed and it becomes an ongoing concern is the approach. But all of this is subservient to light. If there's no understanding or light of what is going on, of where we are, of what our business is about, of what capacities we have, we are joking.
1,000%. I agree with you.
Yes. So my counsel for the collaboration, please reach out to Tolu and Michael and the AHR learning team. We're putting something together that is not going to be, it's not something one person or two persons can do. It's a whole continent on fire. But we need to cross-collaborate to South Africa. We need to get to Zimbabwe. We need to talk to our board brothers in Cote d'Ivoire. Listen, AI, we need to start having conversations like the AI in Yoruba language, AI in Fufude language. Now, in Africa, Nigeria has 524 languages by my estimation. There are tribes in Nigeria where men and women don't speak the same language. There are places in Nigeria where two houses beside each other, especially in Ondo State and Okitipupa. Apologies to my people from that area, where if you are in one side of the road, you cross over. You don't even marry. Their language, they are come. If I say Tolu, come, and Tolu, go, the two are opposites across the town. You understand? This is in Okitipupa area. Baby Sola is from that area, from where she's laughing. But I'm serious. If you go to Elijah Waterside and those axes, there are places where elder brother and younger brother does not speak the same language in this Africa. And this is just Nigeria. Now there's the inclusion challenge of AI. How are we going to get people who are in the village so that they are not left behind? How are we going to have AI machines that can collect data and so that Africa is not left out? We have an inclusion, we are even battling with inclusion. We don't have enough data points online to even be represented. The African AI community is even feeble and infantile. People are using the same, how the colonized us was divide and rule. That was how the West colonized us. To the point that we have now learned it. Bemisara is going to start our own company. Oluwatoyin is going to start our own company. Messi will start our own AI company. Tolu start his own AI company. Emmanuel, who just came out, will start his own AI company. Damlona is going to start his own AI company. Olufunso is looking at me, yes, already thinking to call our friends that we're going to start our own AI cooking company. You know, they start their own HR talent and development cooking. Olaluwa in Canada. Look, it won't work. We will waste effort, time, and energy. For the first time, AI is a field where all Africans must come together. All Africans across several languages. We are dealing with challenges. There are many people. How many people know that Hausa is the most spoken language? Hausa is the most spoken African language. We don't even have Facebook sufficiently represented across all the apps in Hausa language. So someone that speaks Hausa language, for example, does not have access to all the complements of things available on Zoom. So we are dealing with human capital inclusion challenges. We're not even in the movie. So these are big collaborative efforts. And if we attempt to do what we normally do, which is use go and start your AI thing, we will see where it will land. In 10 years, how many AI decrease? And a lot of talk, but no actual work on the ground. We must have cross-collaboration, pan-continental. This is extremely very big, guys. You have no idea. And this is the time to launch into it. And there's room for you, whatever skill set you have. We need project managers, we need HR people, we need organizational development people, we need all the complements within the HR world, we need organizational development experts. The list is very long. I hope I attempted to answer your question, small Mercy. Forgive me for, I'm passionate about these things.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, over to you, Lewis.
Oh, okay. I assumed you wanted to say something. Mr. Kabod, I see your jersey. You seem prepared for the Champions League final tonight. Although you're wearing the red side of Manchester. Thank you so much, Mr. Adoye. Unfortunately, I don't think we may be able to take more questions or comments for tonight because we are close to the end of the session. I appreciate the session. I appreciate you, Mr. Adoye, for bringing this session to light. Of course, talking about the nexus between artificial intelligence and human capital development. I would like to express my gratitude to all esteemed and non-members of AHRP for your active participation and insightful contributions. The attendance link is in the chat box. We can utilize that to put in our attendance and also to pay for the certificates or their stipulated amounts for AHRP members and non-AHRP members for us to obtain a certificate for this session. Thank you again, Mr. Adoye. Bodunri for sharing this expertise and shedding light on the transformative power of AI in the HR domain. Today's session has been an illuminating exploration of how AI can shape the future of work and drive human capital development. I believe we have gained a valuable insight into the potential benefits and, of course, the ethical considerations associated with integrating AI in our HR practice. That, of course, does not eliminate the challenges that we may also have with the integration of AI into HR and almost all human endeavors, from talent acquisition, employee engagement to upskilling and organizational performance, and across the value chain of HR. That's what AI has come to be. That's our reality at this moment. But it is definitely essential for us, as Mr. Adeoye has pointed out, for as HR professionals to embrace the opportunities that AI presents while keeping our focus on human elements of our business and as well as our people management functions. As we continue on this journey, please let us be mindful of striking a balance between AI and preserving the empathy, creativity, and creative thinking, and also critical thinking that define our profession as HR professionals. By doing so, we can harness the full potential of AI to empower our workforce and nurture talent and drive organizational success. Once again, I thank you all for your active participation. Let us not forget that we have an upcoming session next week, Saturday, June 17, 2023. The topic for next week is on global technology trends redefining HR practice. We encourage you to continue this conversation on HR and tech because, of course, as HR professionals and members of AHRP, we recognize this reality that is before us and we try to enlighten ourselves and also to galvanize whatever resource that we have to push forward this relationship between HR and tech. Lastly, before I forget, for those of us seeing the UEFA Champions League final tonight, may Manchester City win tonight. I don't care what other team you support. So that's, well, I do care, but of course I hope that Manchester City will win.
That is cyberbullying.
Bullying.
That is football bullying.
Yes, I said I care. I said I care, but I do hope Manchester City will win tonight. Cabot has the Manchester United jersey. I know he's on the opposite side. He doesn't want the blue side of Manchester to win. So thank you and have a wonderful night. I have to run to watch the Champions League tonight. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
We wish you best of luck.
Thank you.